Welcome back to Let's Play Blank Dream. Last time we saw this story through to the very end, but there are still 4 more endings that we have yet to see. And we start the first of those 4 right now. Someone's there. Once there was a painter. He was known as the mad genius, Rinzo Ushui. Huh? You know my grandpa? Wait, Mishiro. It looks like maybe she isn't aware of us? Rinzo had a wife, but he also had a relationship with a servant. With his wife, he had a child, Shinji. With the servant, he had a child, Tamaki. Rinzo's 2 children, born of different mothers. Huh? Tamaki was the illegitimate child of an affair, but because Shinji showed no interest in art, Rinzo's affection was often directed at Tamaki, who did not have an interest in the arts. Tamaki learned art from Rinzo, and given deep love, grew in the shadow of the Uzui family. But these irregular days couldn't last. When Tamaki turned 12, Rinzo's wife learned of her existence. Rinzo divorced his wife, but gave Tamaki and her mother the same love as ever. Thus far, no tragedy had occurred. But when Tamaki turned 18, Rinzo made an unforgivable mistake. He had a liaison with Tamaki, his own daughter, and impregnated her. Tamaki was deeply wounded and feared Rinzo, and with her mother, she fled from him. But the child she bore had done no wrong, so she decided to birth the child of her father. So Tamaki had a daughter. A daughter between parent and child. Tamaki thought she couldn't live a normal, happy life, but luckily, 2 years later, she had a proper marriage. Safely having a son with her husband, Tamaki began to get back on her feet. However, she never fully did. The mental wounds Tamaki had suffered went even deeper than she imagined. When her now-grown daughter with Rinzo began doing art at school, Tamaki's old wounds ached. It gave her flashbacks of Rinzo, of that fear she had of him. Tamaki struggled to give her daughter affection. It took all she had not to take out negative emotions on her. Tamaki's mind quickly crumbled under the weight. And one day, Tamaki killed her daughter. Tamaki fell to pieces. She came to feel animosity, not only towards Rinzo, but to all the Uzuis. Unable to see any hope ahead, she fell upon the despair behind. Rinzo died of natural causes a few years later, and while she had the right to his inheritance, she refused to take it. She wouldn't even let it go to the eldest son, Shinji. And then at last, Tamaki, who had kept living despite having broken long ago, met her end. When she learned the son she had with her husband had become friends with Shinji's daughter. You mean? Tamaki tried to take out Shinji's daughter, the Uzuis who dared come near her pure son. But when she drove madly down the road to kill her, She ran over her own son by mistake. Tamaki realized this was the end, so she took her own life to escape the despair. No way. That's so messed up. That woman's soul is now bound here. Unlike the other souls, the world is forcing her to be here. Tamaki's soul is now bound to death, so that she can't escape, but must face the facts. This is surely my punishment. I've gone for a while. I can't see or hear you, but I know you're there. I don't know who you are, but go now. Let's go, Mishiro. We shouldn't stay here any longer. So, because we already saw that, I'm just going to use the footage from episode 10 to splice in there so I don't have to do all that reading again. I'm going to do the same thing for the next video, ending 3, so be prepared for that. Okay, let's get started. First, Mishiro, I think you can open this big door here. You opened a similar door earlier, right? I bet you can open this one too if you try. So before that, listen to what I have. Who is this? Get out. Stop. Don't meddle anymore. Give back my world. Yuzu, why? Yuzu? This works just fine. You listen to this too. I'm Yuzu Hanasaki, a middle schooler who committed suicide at 15 at Mirror Lake. The reason I killed myself was, to put it bluntly, to meet a girl I loved. Someone had killed her at Mirror Lake. It made me extremely sad. So I read all these books on black magic and killed myself to go to the afterlife. To die at the same place exactly a year later, it said that would work. Is that wound okay? Don't worry about me. It doesn't really matter now. Huh? I think it's a different afterlife than what the book meant, but ultimately I came to this world. But it seems there was something to be gained here. That girl, she always said she was someone who shouldn't have existed. I always found it weird and wondered why it was. But I found out now. She was born between a girl and her own father, between Tamaki Hinohara and Rinzao Usui. Her very birth was taboo. Isn't that right, Utsuro? Yuzu? Leave this world. Can she not talk like she wants to? She doesn't need to, I know. Because I've always known Utsuro. Thank you, Mishiro. Because of you, I could get back my memories and my wish. And I learned about Utsuro's birth and death. My wish was to meet Utsuro one more time. It's finally come true. Your body. Yuzu. I've done what I need to do in this world, so I'm satisfied. It feels like it's taken so long, but Utsuro was here before I was. I don't know what kind of wish you had, Utsuro, but considering your birth and death, I'm sure it's not something simple. I hope it comes true. And I'm glad that even if you're like that now, you can still recognize me. Sorry for digging into your past. She's been here for much longer than us, and finally got her wish granted. Must be satisfied, I guess. Her wish. And my wish. Wait! Utsuro, was it? Is she a soul like us, I wonder? Somehow, I get the feeling she has a close connection to this world. Maybe the answer is behind this door. Huh? Hey, Ayato, why are you here? Because this soul is necessary for granting your wish. Hello, me. So you successfully broke all the mirrors. Your wish will soon come true, and this world's purpose will be concluded. What do you mean? This mirror world revolves around you, Mishiro. You hold dominion over it. Once a deceased girl wished at Mirror Lake, I wish my life had never even existed. It was a very strong wish, and to fulfill it, this mirror world was created. It was made solely to realize her wish. The other souls were just extras drawn into it. She should have granted her wish in this world she made, but she wasn't able to fulfill it, because she broke before she could. Just as she created this world, she lost everything, including her memories and her wish. Not knowing her purpose, or who she was, she wandered this world and fell apart. That's in the past now, a concluded tale. Unable to achieve its goal, this world went on existing, sucking in souls who died near the lake with strong wishes. Was it that girl? Utsuro Hinohara. Yes, she wanders this world even now. It seems seeing Yuzu elicited some change, but still a long way off from regaining her memories. Utsuro Hinohara. Sister. Several years later, a girl threw herself into the lake. Amazingly, she had the same wish as the world's creator. So that this world could complete its duty, it chose a new soul to control it. And so, since you carried the same wish, you became the new ruler, usurping the originator. The wish the world sought to grant stayed the same, only the person in the center of it was replaced. I was made the ruler of this world? The extra riffraff who feel jealousy towards you still see the broken originator as the rightful ruler. And maybe, broken though she may be, she's personally gotten in your way at times. Even so, you successfully broke all the mirrors, even without wasting weeks or months being lost. You shattered and erased all remnants of you in the form of mirrors containing your past. Having recorded all your actions, I can attest to that. But it's not over just yet. This boy's soul is absolutely necessary for total erasure of your life, because he is simply too significant to you. Without eradicating his soul, your life can't be nullified. So it was none other than you who unconsciously bound his soul to this world, such that you could kill him by your own hand. You aren't telling me I have to kill Ayato? What's the problem? You may feel guilty for a second, but right after that, you'll have never existed. Mishiro, you're still suffering, huh? You do resemble my sister after all. Even as a soul, you have her same wish. If you kill me, you'll be free of your pain. Right after my death, your conflict will end. It's your world. You can make the choice. I don't know. I don't know what I should do. I've overcome a lot of obstacles coming here. I've looked back on my past and erased it. But is it really right to just make it so I never existed? Thinking back, it was a boring life. I wouldn't say it was entirely devoid of enjoyment. But if you asked whether I would live the same life again, I'd absolutely refuse without a doubt. In fact, if I had to say, I've come to hate it all. I wish my life had never even existed. But seeing Yuzu and Utsuro, I had a thought. If Utsuro's life had never existed, what would become of Yuzu's feelings? Desperately turning to black magic, killing herself, and wandering this world for years. All to finally realize her wish was to meet her again. What would become of that? I have the same wish as Utsuro, and... Again, if you choose to grant your wish at this point, you will end with... ending 4. We're not ready for that one, though. Not yet. I won't do it. I can't. I can't do it anymore. For every mirror I broke, I'll vanish from the lives of the people I knew. And I'll also vanish from Ayato's world. But then what did Ayato die for? What did Tamaki step on the accelerator for? If it were just me, then fine. But to control the feelings of the people around me, I have no right. That's not my wish anymore. Are you really sure about that? Whatever you think, whatever you know, it won't actually change anything. Are you still giving up your wish? I am. I see. I, the mirror world, accept abandoning the wish. Its reason for being ends here. Huh? This world can vanish when the ruler's wish is granted, or they abandon it with clear intent. It won't be left up in the air like it had been. So everyone here will vanish? Except for you, Mishiro. To get straight to the point, you're not dead yet. Huh? Your soul has left your body, of course, but your body isn't actually dead. You drowned yourself, but as it happens, a passerby found you. They called it in right away, and though unconscious, you were saved. It was a failed attempt. Mishiro, when your soul leaves here, it'll be forced back into your body. But what you've done in this world won't be written off. The memories you erased by breaking the mirrors won't come back to you when you return to life. You didn't actually carry out your wish, so the actual past isn't gone, but your memories of it are. Maybe you'll remember talking with me a bit, but things like meeting me at the lake? Are you still prepared to leave this place? Can you live in a world you've given up on living in once before? I'll live. Because I'm not dead yet. I don't want to just throw away the life you protected, Ayato. And by discarding the wish I inherited from Utsuro, I think it'll honor Yuzu's feelings. I see. That's a relief then. I absolutely can't understand my sister's wish, but you've made the choice for her. It might sound sort of trite, but I want you to live my sister's share. I want you to prove that giving up that wish was the right thing to do. I'll try my best. Don't worry about me. I want my life to have never existed. Whatever the reason for it, it's not a happy wish. And you realized it. That's a big deal, I mean it. You got back on your feet instead of falling into darkness. Somehow, it, well, makes me happier than anything. Well, I'm gonna retire ahead of you. Gonna see what things are like in heaven. I'm sure you'll go there, Ryotaro. She's 7 years and it ends like this. As long as the ruler's satisfied, I suppose. Will Utsuro go to heaven too? Not sure about heaven or hell, but she'll be free from this world to go wherever she goes. That's good. I say ruler, but you're more of a usurper, technically. I'm a little scared about how much I'll forget, but I won't lose my time in this world, and I won't ever wish to erase the events to come. It's time to go. After that, I regained consciousness in a hospital bed. Apparently, I really had been saved and my soul returned safely from the mirror world. There was a woman I didn't know beside me. Mishiro, you're awake? Who are you? My brain suffered memory loss, and I could no longer remember many past events. I couldn't remember my supposed mother at all. All I had left was this faint unease towards my mother, as well as the desperate expression made by the woman I woke up beside when she heard that. I remember Ayato was someone important to me, but I had no concrete memories of him. But I distinctly remember talking in the mirror world, and felt considerable warmth from that alone. I clearly remember Yuzu and Ryotaro too. I probably only met them in the mirror world. Mishiro Usui, is it? Hello, I am Saiichi Hinohara. A few days after I left the hospital, a man came to visit me. His last name sounded familiar. Could you be Ayato's... Yes. Thank you for getting along with Ayato. Saiichi Hinohara was Ayato's father, which meant he was the one who married Tamaki, and he was the father who Utsuro grew up with. Don't worry too much about your mother. When the woman calling herself my mother learned I had no memory of her, she vanished. I lack any real sense of her being my mother, so it meant relatively little to me. It'd be a long story, but I had a wife and 2 children. But now none of them are left. They've all passed away. And you're alone again also. Do you know where you're going to live now? No, paying tuition seems impossible, so I think I'll have to drop out and work. I see. Mishiro, would you let me adopt you? Huh? We're both tired souls who've lost everything. You got along with Ayato, so we're not total strangers. And you remind me of my daughter a bit. But maybe that's just wishful thinking. Won't you give it some thought? And so I began a new life as Mishiro Hinohara. I'm taking new steps in the same house where Ayato and Utsuro once lived. It was a strange kind of chance, but Saiichi's a very gentle person. He's taking up art again, and he's been teaching me between studies. dreaming of seeing the world the way Ayatu did, catching up to the days I've lost. Once more, I let my brush run free. Not as emotional as ending 1, but it's still pretty emotional. Something about this game, I'm really glad I found it. I really am. I've never really shown a huge interest in playing RPG Maker games. Like, I've watched Markiplier play a lot of them. I watched Mad Father. I watched The Witch's House. I watched The Crooked Man. I watched a lot of them. And I still am really, really glad that I decided to take the time to Let's Play this game on my own before finishing Markiplier's Let's Play. Because I don't think it would have had the same effect had I seen this already before Let's Playing it. But that concludes the second ending to Blank Dream. I'm a little sad that we're going to be eventually, inevitably, I'm sad that we're going to be inevitably ending this whole project on the bad ending, which I didn't really think about, but you know, oh well, I guess. I can always turn it into a happy ending. Ending 2, Mobius strip. Someday, history might repeat. Until next time, everyone.